Okay, so sorry for this inconvenience. It may happen, and sorry again for this inconvenience with the sound. So we hope you are still here. Come back, please. And so I'm very happy again to welcome you on this broadcast. Today it's the kickoff of our Digital Pharma Lab for fourth season of acceleration between startups, pharma tech startups, and pharma companies. We enjoyed a lot of success during the prior three seasons, and now we are starting the fourth one. And I hope you will enjoy the agenda. It's a great agenda with a lot of very interesting speakers, very provocative, and also a lot of information you will find here. And to start with, you know, we should have been at the BPI France, which is the Banque Publique d'Investissement here in France. Unfortunately, due to the pandemics, we are each in our office. But let me introduce our virtual host, Celine Ryu. Celine, so please, if you can make it again. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Pascal. Hello, everybody. I'm Celine Ryu. I manage the health tech program at BPI France Le Hub, which is a support program for BPI France portfolio startups. I'm very happy to be here with you. I just wanted to share with you a few numbers and a bit of context on what we did last year at BPI. As Pascal said, BPI is the French public investment bank, supporting entrepreneurs across the country by facilitating growth and entrepreneurship. And it's one of the largest VC firm active in Europe, and one of the most active sovereign fund as well in the world. So we've seen last year that it's been a key for health tech sector. Of course, given the context, it's been critical for all of us. And we've seen that in the numbers as well, with close to 400 million euros invested in startups, in French startups. And we're very proud at BPI to have been part of these deals, either directly or indirectly through our activity of funding the funds. So health has been a strategic sector for a lot of years already at BPI, and we've seen that especially last year with increased numbers in financing and capital investment. Financing and capital investment are kind of the two activities we have in innovation in France. And we have, for example, we have financing more than 400 million euros in loans and grants in health only for entrepreneurs to help them face the situation last year through different initiatives such as national competitions such as Concours Innov, Grand Défi IA, capacity building call for projects, large financing of projects such as PSPC COVID, dedicated to projects targeting COVID, or deep tech grants. And this is more than twice the amount of loans and grants allocated in 2019. So it's quite a big increase and a quick and strong reaction to the crisis that we all faced last year. And in equity, we didn't slow down or stop our investment either, or even increase with also a big increase in twice the amount of 2019, with 200 million investment in direct investment and indirect investment in startups with our different funds. We have a dedicated fund in digital health, which is called Patient Autonome. We invested in companies such as Nuveal or Lucine in digital therapeutics recently. We also have a fund dedicated to biotech called Innobio2, who invested in algo therapeutics, for example, recently in neuropathic pain. So, and we here at the team of BPI France Le Hub, we support these entrepreneurs once they've been invested in capital in equity, in direct investment. They can join the program, and we help them connecting with the ecosystem, providing them expertise, workshops, connecting them with the network of entrepreneurs at BPI, and helping them in all their topics of growth during this one-year program. I just wanted to give you also a quick word on recent initiatives we launched, especially in digital health, a few months ago with University of Paris, where we've launched an incubator dedicated to digital health entrepreneurs and helping them over a period of 6 months to grow and stabilize their business model, strengthen their competitive advantage, and really connect with the ecosystem. So we're also creating a community in digital health, reuniting different players in this sector, such as public and private health providers, insurance companies, pharma and medtech companies, but also transformation and big data companies and startups, with the objective to foster relationships and really create business opportunities. And really wanted to underline the fact that collaboration and connections are key in digital health, and we trying to help entrepreneurs to get the right connection. And I think that really the essence of Digital Pharma Lab, and we are very happy to be partner of this initiative, because you can help entrepreneurs to work better with pharma companies, have the right connections and have the right support to gain maturity, to accelerate the rollout of this initiative, to have a better understanding of market access strategy, where pharma companies are really truly valuable partners for startups to helping them in all these different aspects. Digital health is a fragmented ecosystem, and we really need initiatives to gather people together and working on concrete initiatives and helping them go faster and further. So I'm very happy to see all of you here today, and I wish you very great discussion this morning together. I've seen the agenda, so I'm sure it will be very stimulating and productive.
Thank you very much, Celine. Thank you. It was great, and we are very happy to partner. And of course, the more initiative, the more e-health will burgeon and will provide real value to patients, pharmaceutical companies, healthcare professional, and everybody. So yes, it's great to have all this. Thank you again, Celine, and very proud to be with you. Let's now go to another part of the agenda with Vincent. So please, Vincent, can you take over?
Sure. Hi, Pascal.
Hi, Vincent.
Yes, and Arnaud, I think because
yes.
Arnaud de la Tour, are you here? Yeah, thank you. So Arnaud went to BPI France directly.
Yeah, but I'm the only one, so I'm actually taking the call in the meeting room, in the waiting room.
All right. So okay, let's put the screen. Let me know when you see it.
Yeah, see it, thanks.
Sure, Arnaud, I'll let you begin.
Okay, so as a quick introduction, I'm the co-founder and CEO of Hello Tomorrow, and we've been starting this partnership with Digital Pharma Lab, also with our own Vincent Durand, but he couldn't join us today because he's father for the second time just a few days ago, so he's taking care of his child. So I'm here to represent Hello Tomorrow.
Yes, and I'm Vincent Galland. I'm founding partner of Digital Pharma Lab and working with Pascal, Didier, and all the team. And here we'll present shortly the program of Global Pharma Booster that we designed with Hello Tomorrow, and explaining how we foster collaborations between startups and big pharmas. So just a few words about Digital Pharma Lab. So we are the first European independent accelerator in Europe. And if we can draw like about Digital Pharma Lab overall, it will be the connection between industrials, between pharmatech startups and investors and VCs. Our aim is to foster collaboration between big pharmas and startups, and to be able to put the ground for appearing the next unicorns in the pharmatech sectors. So we have a wide array of activities like training of executive committees of the employees. We have these acceleration programs, and we operate as well innovation coalitions like the Coalition Next and other programs designed for pharma companies. So this is some words about Digital Pharma Lab. To you.
So Hello Tomorrow, we created it let's say in 2014. The reason why we did that is that we saw that there was a new wave of innovation starting, enabled by emerging technologies and their convergence from digital, but also from biotech and material science. But we also figured that public and private organization had some trouble to really valorize it, because it requires more agility and also relying on ecosystems compared to, or maybe on top of a more traditional top-down approach. So we wanted to solve this problem, and the way we do that. So let's say that we have two parts of Hello Tomorrow. The first part is this ecosystem that we build. So we have those hubs and ambassadors all over the world. We grow this community through events, startup competitions like the Hello Tomorrow Challenge, where we have more than 5,000 applications. And then we have another part of Hello Tomorrow, where we offer some turnkey programs leveraging this information and this network, either to explore, so to imagine and start new businesses, or to accelerate businesses through collaboration with startups. And that's exactly the philosophy of what we are doing together with Digital Pharma Lab. And you were showing the program, Vincent, on the following slide. So
yeah.
this program is in 3 steps. So first, scouting and matching. So after identifying the topic, the problem we want to solve, which is quite important to do for a successful program, we identify the right startup, running a call for proposal. And then the alignment phase, it's to make sure that there is a clear business case, that governance and so on. And then the sprint that so it's to also to make sure that it's not just, okay, we do a nice event, but really that there is value created business outputs after the program. And this program combines let's say the best of Hello Tomorrow and Digital Pharma Lab. So our role at Hello Tomorrow is to leverage our network, our grassroots network, to really find the best startups that will take part to the projects anywhere in the world. And then Digital Pharma Lab is to leverage their experience in supporting and facilitating collaborations between startup and pharma companies to not only start a collaboration, but really aim at real value creation. And I will let you maybe explain more, Vincent.
Yes, so yeah, you basically said everything. So you are really strong for the first parts, and then alignment and the sprint phase. Here you have some dates for the season 4 of the program. So we are here at the launch conference, as you can see. And then what will happen is that you will see many startups presenting their projects. And these startups will meet actually our different partners, and maybe from those meetings, some collaboration will arise, and we hope that. And then we have what we call the alignment committee, which is a special time where we will really find what we want to do with the collaboration. What is the return of investments? What are the goals, the aim of the collaboration? And then once we are aligned between startups and the big pharmas, we run the sprint phase. And in a short period of time, like only 3 months, the collaborations have to come up with something, a prototype, a minimal viable product, what we call MVP, or proof of concept. And then that will be presented during the demo day, which is the 6th of May of this year. So you can already save the date in your agenda in the 6th of May, because we'll have another conference to see what projects will come up from this conference between our partners, Chugai, Pharma Europe, and Ipsen, and the different startups. So here we are for the season 4 program. Just a few last words about the different results of the 3 first seasons, I could say. We have more than 10 pharma companies that join us for the last acceleration seasons, 300 collaborators, We have 22 startups selected and 27 crushes. So the crushes is the word we use when the pharma companies and the startups really meet and have a crush and really like each other and want to collaborate. So we fostered 27 crushes since the beginning that led to 17 proof of concept or MVPs. So this is the first results we had, and we are very proud of that at Digital Pharma Lab team. And in terms of financial impact, we have more than 700,000 contracts signed between our partners and the startups over 6 months, and we help startups that join us to raise more than 40 million euros since the start of the program. And just to remind you, the first program started early 2020, and the official launch of Digital Pharma Lab was the 9th of December 2019. So I think we can be very proud of what we achieved in a short period of time. And thank you all, and thank you, Arnaud, for joining us in this really exciting adventure.
Thanks.
So that's it. Thank you. So for the next steps, I think we will have, let me check, we will have Marcus. Are you here, Marcus?
Yes, I'm here. Good morning. Bonjour.
Bonjour, Marcus. So I will also share the screen for you.
That would be great.
Oh, the screen is already shared, so that's perfect.
Yeah,
it's
perfect.
Eloise. So I let you the floor and to present you and you know what you can say about Chugai Pharma Europe, which is one of our main partner of this season. Thank you, Marcus.
Yeah, thank you very much, Vincent, and good morning again to all of you. Yeah, my name is Marcus Harvard. I'm head of the commercial division of Chugai Pharma in Europe. And Chugai Pharma in Europe is a 100% daughter company of Chugai in Japan. And as you may know, Chugai in Japan is one of the top 5 pharma companies there. And globally, we also belong to Roche, but in Europe, we are completely independent, and we are reporting into our Japanese headquarters. Innovation, as you see already on this cover slide, is one of the keywords and the buzzwords for Chugai, and it has been already in the past. And if you go to the next one, please. Thank you. Then it links very nicely on the one hand with our slogan saying innovation beyond imagination is what we want to achieve. And on a midterm, we want to become the top innovator pharma company in the world. And all of this links to the spirit of patient centricity at Chugai. And as you can see in this slide, it is most important for us to deliver solutions, and this is more than only pharmaceutical products, to improve our patients' quality of life. And you may have heard that many times. We are thinking about services around the pill, but even more services beyond the pill. And therefore, it is a great opportunity for me, and I'm very thankful for that, to attend this meeting today. It's the first time, not the fourth time. It's the first time for me, and I'm very curious about the whole event today. In principle, I think we go forward in 3 steps, which you may know very well. Think big, start small, and scale fast. And to do this, we have set up a European structure for innovation headed by Maxime Santos. And we have 9 people in our 3 European affiliates in France, in the UK, and in Germany. And when you contact us, you will have a direct contact to these people who have a broad and deep understanding of innovation and will put forward your ideas and your collaboration proposals within our company. Next slide, please. And two of the projects or two of the fields are the most important ones for us today. The one on the left-hand side says we want to improve the diagnostic quality of virtual consultations. Speeded up by the unfortunate pandemic situation we got to know in the past year, unfortunately, meanwhile it's 1 year, that there are more and more remote contacts between patients and healthcare professionals. But we also learned from many talks to doctors and HCPs that this is not always ideal. And especially in terms of body language, in terms of tone of voice and other factors, virtual consultation is not 100% perfect. And therefore, we are looking for solutions which bring a better diagnostic to the healthcare professional, but also give the advantage to us and maybe other players in the field to take advantage of real life data from patients. And last but not least, to improve the situation for the patient again and to motivate them to engage in virtual consultations, because I think these will be, at least to a part, maybe even a major part, the future of contacts between doctors and patients. On the right-hand side, we also want to invest and want to think about solutions for improving the adherence for treatment from patients. We are mainly active in Europe in innovative fields with innovative products in rheumatology, in hemophilia, and in oncology. And especially for rheumatology and hemophilia, as chronic diseases, treatment adherence is most important over a long time. And for oncology, it is most important to have an optimal treatment outcome. And therefore, we are looking for innovative solutions to enable healthcare professionals to ensure the patient's follow-up. Of course, with the objective to improve treatment adherence and success rate of treatment in the end, also in an economic perspective to reduce waste. And maybe there are even new ideas completely out of the box how we can treat rheumatology, hemophilia, and oncology better. And therefore, if you have ideas as a startup company, please contact us and let's get in touch within the next days. There's already one question about if we are just looking for collaboration in these indication areas. Yeah, there is a primary intention to work in these indication areas, but I'm quite convinced that there are solutions available which are more and wider than these indication areas, and therefore I would not like to exclude them. So the last slide, please. Yeah, the acceleration of development of your solution as a startup with Chugai, I think that has also the objective, or is an objective also for us, because we know speed counts in this context. And it is very clear as a startup, you will have access to our network in Europe. We are about 250 people working for Chugai in Europe, and we have specialists in all indication and all fields of the pharmaceutical business, from research development up to medical services, up to HTA processes, reimbursement, and so on. And what could be also interesting for you is that we are really interested in, on one hand, a quick win, but on the other hand, a long-term relation. And continuity is one of the major assets of a Japanese company. And that means you also would have the access to the Asian, to the Japanese market. And what is one important function of Chugai in Europe is also to be an antenna function to transfer ideas and good opportunities and solutions to our colleagues in Japan. And therefore, we developed an acceleration program, and it's a good opportunity again to be here today. And of course, we are more than happy to get in contact with you. And not to exceed my time, I want to close now. And of course, I'm happy to address your questions in the chat. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you very much, Marcus. It was very clear and very inspiring. Really, what you do at Suga Europe is very strong in terms of digital, and I think Maxime would be very happy of what you presented. Really, thank you very much, Marcus.
Hope so. Thanks a lot.
Stay with us. I will call now David. David, Elvira, are you there?
Yes, I'm there.
So thank you very much, David. You have so David is digital R&D and business development head at Ipsen global level. So the floor is yours. You have 5 minutes to explain what you do and what are your issues that you want to address through digital innovation.
Yes, thank you. Hello, everyone, and thank you, Vincent. So first, I just want to say I don't have a slide to present. So I made a bet that I will be clear and I can share everything just by speaking. So let me know in the chat if I'm not. So first, I bet. Secondly, Marcus was very clear, and I'm in line with several points he said. So I just want to try not to repeat and to say what he said. So thank you, Marcus, and very inspiring. So just to one important point to Ipsen is the patient centricity. So we have in our motto innovation for patient care. So for us, it's very important. So all our solutions need to have a huge patient centricity stream. Regarding innovation, an important point is we know that we cannot build everything internally because for a lot of reasons. First one is regarding compliance and regulatory perspective. A lot of solution has to be compliant with regulation and rules, and our partner can move faster than us to obtain this certification. Second one is to bring innovation at the maximum level. We need to be agile and to have less constraints than pharmaceutical companies have. So that's an important topic where I want to share with you because we are very open to partner with other companies. Also, I want to share two important points for me personally. The first one is the knowledge of the patient HCP or collaborator journey. If we really want to solve a pain point or an unmet need in our patient HCP or collaborator, we need to fully understand the patient journey. So I really want to work with partners who have this understanding, or we have the understanding of at least one step of the patient journey or HCP journey or collaborator journey. Second one, what is very important to me is to focus on pain point needs and not in the desire or to develop solution just to tick box. So that's important thing to really go on the field, discuss with end user, really go deep on what is the root causes associated and what is the question we want to answer. So that's an important point to me. And why I mentioned that, because often we develop solution, and when we say we, it's not Ipsen, is in general, digital people develop solution because they think they have a good topic, they have a good solution, etc., etc. But at the end, it's not so clear what pain point we want to solve, what kind of unmet need we want to solve, and what is the value created for the end user. So to me, it's very important to well identify at the beginning what is the value we want to create. Second and last point I want to share with you, very important to me, it's the capabilities to track and to follow all our KPI at the beginning. I know that innovation can sometimes fail, and it's not a big deal, to be honest. It's not bad. What is very bad is not be able to fail fast. That means to say stop at a good moment and learn from the previous experiences. So I want to share that with you because when we partner with startup at the beginning, we don't want always to have a huge plan, to know everything and to say we don't want to work with you because we don't know what is the endpoint, but we want to try. We can try, but we can fail together and stop at a good moment. So saying that, I want to share with you some needs we have. So as you know, maybe or not, Ipsen is working in 3 therapeutic areas: neuroscience, oncology, and rare disease. So I want to share one topic in neuroscience with you. The first one is around our Dysport product. So Dysport product is a botulinum toxin is indicated for spastic patients. So spasticity is the muscle cannot be used normally. It's often after a stroke, for example, and the HCP has to inject Dysport in the muscle. So saying that, what is very important for the HCP is to calculate the great dose for each muscle, for each patient, and at each visit. So as you can say, that have a huge burden for them to well follow everything, to well reconstitute the product because it's powder, and we then need to make several steps to inject the product to the patient. So we really need to find a solution to help the HCP to answer this pain point. Second, the pain point we have and we want to solve with Digital Pharma Lab today, it's the relationship between health professional, patient, and advanced cancer, for example, kidney cancer. So we have an indication for renal cell carcinoma, and this TKI, it's carbometics, and it's a very great treatment and have a huge impact on the life of the patient. So it's very efficient. But as all the treatment, the patient can have some adverse event, and sometimes the quality of life of the patient can decrease. So our objective is really to say we can increase the overall survival of the patient, but we also want to focus on the quality of life of the patient. So we really want a solution, something that can help the patient to have interaction with the nurse, for example, and to better understand the treatment, the adverse event, and better live with the treatment. So to be very integrated in his patient journey. And last one, and after I will conclude because I think I'm out of time, is the relationship between the pharmaceutical company and the HCP. Before COVID-19, we know the sales rep go to see HCP, and we have a huge relationship between, a relationship between a pharmaceutical company and HCP. But despite COVID-19, we want to change this relationship and to think what could be after the COVID-19 and how we can rethink this relationship and how we can really bring value to them and not, add a burden in their journey to knock at the door, wait several hours in their waiting room, etc. But really create a new link between the pharmaceutical company and our HCP and professionals of health. So I want to conclude now. So thank you very much to listen to me. Thank you very much for this 5 minutes. And my conclusion is I would only say one thing. A project is only successful. It has active user at the end, and we can create value for them, but also for us. So thank you.
Thank you very much, David. It was very interesting, and you showed that with no slides, you can attract the attention of the audience. So thank you very much, David, and stay with us. So now we go to the first keynote, which is the digital transformation of the healthcare system by startups. And this keynote will be led by Didier Tranchier, co-founder of Digital Pharma Lab, and also my partner with Pascal, and Alexandra Dublanche. Are you there, Alexandra?
Okay,
yes,
merci.
I am.
All right,
Merci.
so Alexandra is in a car, and we are very proud to welcome you today. And I let Didier introduce you.
Donc, merci beaucoup, Alexandra. Je vois que votre agenda est bien chargé. Désolé pour les 10 minutes de retard et suite à des problèmes techniques. Donc, Madame Dublanche, vous êtes vice-présidente de la région Île-de-France. La région Île-de-France, on sait, est très, très impliquée justement dans le soutien direct et de entreprises innovantes de la région. Mais aujourd'hui, ce qui nous concerne en plus particulièrement, c'est l'innovation en santé. Et est-ce qu'il existe justement des soutiens particuliers à ce secteur qui est particulièrement important en ce moment?
J'espère que ça ne va pas couper. J'avais prévu pour le faire avant de partir, mais je suis contente de partir. I could also have done it in English, but I prepared in French, so I will do it in French. I hope everybody can get it. Alors oui, merci beaucoup pour cette invitation. La région, la santé, c'est effectivement un des 7 secteurs stratégiques qu'on a identifiés avec Valérie Pécresse pour l'innovation, la croissance et l'emploi, c'est à peu près, c'est plus de 320 000 salariés en Île-de-France. Et la crise qu'on vient évidemment de vivre, enfin qu'on est en train de vivre, n'a fait que renforcer cette importance critique, voire vitale. Et c'est dans ce contexte-là que la stratégie santé sur laquelle on travaille depuis maintenant plusieurs années avec tous les partenaires du secteur public, eh bien, on l'a présentée en septembre dernier avec la présidente pour mobiliser à peu près plus de 200 millions d'euros sur 6 axes majeurs qu'on a identifiés donc avec tous les acteurs. Donc, un, c'est comment on consolide le tissu de PME et d'ETI de santé en Île-de-France. 2, c'est comment on valorise les données des établissements de santé. 3, c'est la façon, trouver des moyens d'accélérer l'innovation dans les établissements de santé. 4, c'est comment on favorise tout ce qui est recherche, transfert de technologie et la formation. 5, faire rayonner l'excellence francilienne à l'international. On n'est parfois pas assez proactif là-dessus. Et enfin, faire de l'Île-de-France également un hub d'excellence en matière de bioproduction, biotechnologie, de génomique. Et donc, voilà, ces 6 groupes ont été pilotés à chaque fois donc, par la PHP, Institut Pasteur, Médicine, etc. Et c'est vrai que sur les outils numériques, il y a 3 de ces axes, comme vous pouvez le voir, qui mobilisent explicitement la puissance des outils numériques, notamment tout ce qui est le travail sur la donnée des établissements de santé au service des patients, car on est évidemment convaincu d'une chose, et voilà, je n'ai pas pu entendre les interventions précédentes, mais je pense qu'on sera d'accord, c'est que la création de valeur pour le secteur de la santé repose évidemment aujourd'hui tout autant sur la donnée que sur la molécule. Et donc, notamment avec la PHP, on a lancé une étude qui vise à créer une plateforme de données pour l'étude de l'anatomie pathologique en oncologie, par exemple. Alors, c'est vrai que la région elle peut être à la fois financeur, mais aussi organisateur de l'écosystème, rassembleur aussi, et faire travailler tout un tas d'acteurs ensemble, s'ils le font souvent, parfois peut-être à trop petite échelle. Et donc, voilà, nous, on rassemble tout le monde.
Voilà.
Donc, l'objectif de... Oui, pardon.
Non, je voulais juste résumer un petit peu.
Oui.
Donc, 210 millions,
ouais.
effectivement, la santé, je sais qu'il y a aussi intelligence artificielle, l'ensemble de l'écosystème.
Effectivement, la santé a été vraiment au cœur de d'autres politiques régionales. Quand je dis 210 millions, et après, il y a d'autres, par exemple, quand effectivement, vous venez de le dire, on travaille sur l'intelligence artificielle, on a lancé des challenges pour faire travailler des grandes structures avec des startups. Par exemple, Gustave Roussy, on y va cet après-midi avec la présidente d'ailleurs, où Gustave Roussy a mis de la data à disposition, l'Institut Gustave Roussy, et a posé des questions sur la récidive du cancer du sein, notamment, à des startups qui ont postulé. Donc, une d'entre elles a remporté ce challenge. Donc, nous, on avait mis 1,5 million de la région, mais surtout, ça donne la possibilité à la startup de travailler avec cette structure et d'avancer sur ces thématiques-là. Donc, au-delà des fonds spécifiques santé, il y a tout un tas de politiques régionales qui mettent la santé en avant. Exactement.
Voilà, alors donc justement, les startups, il y a de l'argent. Les startups, vous organisez l'écosystème. Et justement, du côté des établissements de santé qui sont en particulier en ce moment très, très fortement challengés par la crise, mais également cette transformation digitale, comment voyez-vous justement le soutien peut-être à cette transformation ?
Alors nous, on aide aussi toutes ces pépites novatrices à innover. Donc là aussi, ça peut être par des soutiens financiers de la région. Donc on travaille beaucoup avec la BPI, le pôle de compétitivité Médicine ou le groupement d'intérêt public RESA on a mis en place un appel à projet InnovUp. InnovUp, c'est une aide classique de la région pour aider à l'innovation. Et on en a fait une spécifiquement pour tout ce qui est expérimentation en santé, pour promouvoir la co-création de solutions qui soient innovantes dans les établissements sanitaires et médico-sociaux. Donc voilà, on crée à chaque fois des dispositifs ad hoc aussi pour être plus visible auprès des acteurs du secteur de la santé, parce que c'est souvent un problème de la région, on n'est pas toujours assez connu. Et donc là, on est dans la phase 1 de cette InnovUp expérimentation santé. Je vous préviens, je vais rentrer dans une forêt, j'espère qu'on ne va pas être coupé. Voilà, donc je le dis pour ceux que ça peut intéresser. Donc on est dans la phase 1 où les établissements de santé ont jusqu'au 28 février pour proposer des challenges qu'ils vont proposer à des startups qui vont tenter de les résoudre. Ensuite, il y aura une phase 2 où il y a 5 entreprises qui vont être financées pour répondre à ces cas d'usage, à ces problématiques. Ça peut aller jusqu'à 500 000 € en subvention, 3 millions d'euros en avance remboursable. Donc, vous voyez, on essaye d'adapter toutes les aides régionales spécifiquement à ce secteur de la santé.
Voilà, donc résumé, donc effectivement, InnovUp, expérimentation de santé, vient d'être lancée. C'est des centres de santé qui peuvent répondre en disant voilà mon challenge. Et puis derrière, c'est trouver les startups, et les startups sont fortement financées. Alors justement, on voit, vous intervenez auprès des startups avec 202 millions. Vous avez finalement l'identification de challenge et des startups qui correspondent à des challenges. De manière générale, pour vous, la crise actuelle, voilà, quels sont peut-être un petit peu, comment voyez-vous l'implication de la région cette fois-ci, peut-être vis-à-vis du grand public et peut-être aussi dans cette transformation de notre économie?
C'est vrai que nous, la santé n'est pas une compétence régionale, c'est une compétence de l'État, mais évidemment, on n'est pas resté les bras croisés face à ce qui vient de se passer. Donc, tout ce que je viens de vous dire, c'est vraiment sur notre compétence de développement économique. Mais après, il y a tout ce qui a été fait pour pallier des manques et des besoins. Bon, on l'a vu sur des masques, donc en allant acheter des masques via nos partenaires franco-chinois et en aidant aussi surtout de l'industrie francilienne à être en capacité de produire tous ces produits. La première phase, et ensuite maintenant on est dans une phase où on aide des entreprises du secteur de la santé à relocaliser des parties, des bouts de chaîne de production ou des productions en intégralité pour faire face à cette problématique qui est apparue flagrante de dépendance à l'extérieur. Donc ça, on travaille beaucoup dessus, puis on s'est mobilisé pour, vous me disiez, par rapport au quotidien des gens, sur les tests, sur la vaccination. On vient toujours en soutien de l'État en déployant des possibilités pour aider les Franciliens, puis aider aussi l'État à faire face à cette crise. Mais après, sur la partie plus industrielle, on agit beaucoup puisque beaucoup d'entreprises se sont remises évidemment, se sont posées des questions de cette dépendance liée à notre souveraineté. Et donc là, on les aide aussi financièrement, parce que c'est un coût de rapatrier de la production en local. On les aide à ce niveau-là.
Bon, écoutez, merci beaucoup, Madame Dublanche. On sait que votre agenda est très, très chargé et c'est la
Merci à
preuve que
vous.
vous êtes très, très opérationnel. Et en particulier, on est vraiment ravis de comprendre que la partie santé, établissement de soins et start-up dans le domaine de la santé fait vraiment partie de votre stratégie avec ces appels à projets, ce financement. Et écoutez, très bonne journée. Et puis en tout cas, merci beaucoup d'avoir pris de votre temps pour partager avec nous toutes ces bonnes nouvelles.
Merci.
Merci. Et Vincent,
Au revoir.
je te repasse la parole.
Merci. Thank you, Didier, for animating this keynote. Yes, I have many questions about to have a quick summary of Alexandra's information, and we will provide you a summary of what Alexandra said for those who are interested. So for now, the second keynote, taking advantage of the cloud. We are happy to welcome Ruben Schlesinger from Google Cloud, and Clément Ravuna, who is CEO of a startup or a company now called Tanker. And can you connect and put your camera and share this?
Hello. Can
Yes.
you hear me well?
Clément?
Yes.
Okay, so the floor is yours. You have 10 minutes to talk about Tanker, Google Cloud, and how to take advantage of the cloud.
Thank you, Vincent. Hello, everyone. My name is Ruben Schlesinger. I'm account manager at Google Cloud, working specifically with digital natives. And my role is to help our customers get the most of our technology to help them focus on their core business and accelerate their growth. So I'm sure that even without being technical experts, you are all very well aware of cloud potentials to host your infrastructure. But the idea here is to go a little bit beyond. And my objective today is to explain how you can take advantage of industry-specific technologies to accelerate your development and focus on innovation. First, healthcare has been a top priority at Google for many years. We support our customers with a large cross-functional team of healthcare experts, including also a dedicated healthcare engineering team. And thanks to them, we've made investments to unlock the value of data to provide better insights to address the most pressing challenges in healthcare. So Google Cloud can be considered as a technology enabler, providing a number of first-to-market healthcare-specific tools and services, such as the Cloud Healthcare API or Cloud Life Science to process biomedical data at scale. We know that as a startup, as a digital natives, your success depends on two things. The first one is your ability to get to market quickly and scale. And the second one is the way you differentiate from your competitors. And this is where the cloud can help by bringing ready-to-use solutions to limit your development only to your core business specificity. For example, we provide our advanced artificial intelligence and machine learning capabilities to help you gain insights from clinical data to accelerate research and provide seamless patient and customer experience. One of your challenges as you grow is to attract and to retain talents. And this means hiring people for what they are good at and what they enjoy doing. But this isn't always easy, as many application developers are spending too much of their time troubleshooting rather than building new products. And our serverless platform lets you build, develop, deploy applications while simplifying the developer experience by eliminating all infrastructure management. So this is why you need a technology partner in your journey that will help you focus on your priorities, get the most from your technology by reusing as much as possible and integrating proven cloud workloads, and empower your teams to perform their best and stay focused on their business. Our customers are getting a large set of solutions to develop better applications and deliver innovative experiences with confidence. And one more word about trust and confidence, because of course, this is a top of mind concern for all organizations, and even more specifically for the healthcare industry. So first, about ownership, Google Cloud is very explicit in its commitment to our customers. You own your data and will never use it for any other purpose. We also provide customers with a large array of controls they can use to help meet policy, regulatory, and business objectives. And this starts with a control on the location of customers' data. We also provide protection from threats through a secure foundation, and we'll go a little bit deeper on this topic with Clément right after. For example, about protection, we provide data encryption at rest in our data centers by default. And lastly, we work to meet our compliance responsibilities and provide capabilities to make compliance easier for our customers. So when we work with digital natives, we also focus on your business growth, and we try to develop co-selling activities with Google sellers to help you win new business as a partner. And now let's have a quick conversation with Clément, the CEO of Tanker, to discuss more practically about their experience with the cloud and the benefits they found in the partnership. So Clément, maybe you can start by introducing yourself and your company, and then go a little bit deeper into the partnership and your usage of cloud technology.
Yeah, sure. Hi everyone. I'm sorry, I'm a bit sick, so my voice is a bit troubled. At Anchor, we basically what we do is providing the medical for medical users. We provide the medical confidentiality between patients and doctors to third-party platforms such as Doctolib, Alan, or other telehealth platforms for this sector. Most importantly, what we do with Google is a long-term partnership, because we started with Google back in 2017 when they started to provide Kubernetes, and they have provided us with a long-term relationship at every step of our growth. It was at the beginning mostly technological to solve complex issues, and then when we started scaling, they helped us convert customers, because our customers needed to trust us, and Google provided us with this strong support. And then they provided us a strong support on the tech side, because we scaled very quickly from a few thousand users back in 2019 to almost 40 million users today. And this scale was only possible with a partner like GCP. So it really helped us achieve those goals, and well, it would not have been possible without them. Just to give you a little idea, we are 25 people, and we are providing a service that could be handled by 100 or 150 if we were managing it on our own.
Can you maybe go through a use case, Clément, of how Tonker works for your customers?
Oh, sure. The most public use case is Doctolib. So just to give you a little idea of what we do, if you type in on the Google Cloud the documentation client-side encryption, or any cloud provider, it's basically telling you that you have to build it yourself. We provide this feature in a few lines of code and a very simple implementation. And this is a managed service. So we use the Google Cloud infrastructure to exchange public keys and enable our customers to be the only ones to access the data. So we are an extra layer of security for our client application, and we provide an absolute privacy to the users of those platforms. It's basically known as end-to-end encryption, if you're familiar with the topic, and you use it every day in applications like Telegram, WhatsApp, iMessage. We make it available for all the platforms around the place, especially in the telehealth sector. But we're also very active in the IoT business, cryptocurrency business, and this kind of industries.
Thank you. And as I was mentioning, we're also working together in terms of business development, trying to work with you in terms of co-selling and business strategy.
Yeah, sure. So if you take when we enter, so here again, I'm going to give public examples, not the other ones, but if you take the Doctolib case, for example, Google really implicated themselves into the sales cycle, going to support our effort. We are still, you mentioned, you hesitated in the introduction between a company and a startup. We're still a startup. We're still in the phase where we grow extremely quickly, and we need to reassure our customers. And Google came really as a trusted partner and made basically this deal possible. If you take another public reference, which is Alan in the health sector, Google, we signed this deal together with Google. And as of now, maybe for entrepreneurs in these conversations, that's something very important. What's Google Cloud is currently enabling us to say is that their platform is basically the equivalent of the App Store back in 2009. I was an early entrepreneur in the iPhone App Store back in those days. And today, the opportunity is basically the same with cloud providers. So you can really leverage those platforms as a distribution channel.
Thank you very much, Clément. Very clear. We are done here. Vincent, back to you. Thanks.
Yes, thank you, Ruben and Clément. Thank you very much, and stay with us as well. So now I will call Alice Freton. Alice is our startup manager in at Digital Pharma Lab, and she is, as her title said, managing startups, and it's what she will be doing for the next 20 minutes with 4 brilliant startups that she will talk to you about. Thank you, Alice, and the floor is yours.
Thank you, Vincent. Thank you very much. So I'm glad to present you today 6 disruptive startups, partners of season 4. So just a little housekeeping before we get started. Each startup we will have 5 minutes in their solution, and I invite each speaker to turn on your camera and microphone at the beginning of your presentation and share your screen if you have some slides to share. Also, if you have any question during the presentation, please type them on the chat and I will try to bring them up after the presentation. So the first one I will present today is QCall, a French startup with a remote patient monitoring solution. I am pleased to introduce you Mohamed El Bouja Daini, CEO of QCall. Mohamed, are you with us?
Hi. Hello, everyone.
Mohamed. Hello, Mohamed. Thank you for being here today. If you have some slides to share, please share your screen. And now the stage is all yours.
Thank you. Thank you, Alice. So today I'm gonna shortly present you what we are doing at QCall. So whether they have been recently diagnosticated or facing a chronic illness or participating in a clinical trial, today patient journey can be too difficult to navigate alone to stay active throughout their treatment and journey. QCall provide a text messaging software enabling healthcare professionals to efficiently communicate with, collect data from, and support patients with chronic diseases or participating in a clinical trial. For healthcare, on one side, it's an easy way to provide their patient all the support they need by providing medication adherence support, therapeutic education, and ensure patient follow-up when it's needed. And for researchers, it's an easy way to save time, improve engagement, adherence, and data collection with automated text messages. So now, let's say I'm going to introduce you how the system and how our solution works and how you can create an easy and quick experience for your patient. Or it starts with picking up the module that you need to support your patients. From 3 modules that you can customize, you can provide all the support your patients expect on it. Since every therapeutical area has different needs, we designed QCall to suit the specific patient population. Condition and medication information can be added at relevant intervals during the patient journey. Then when you have done this, then your patient interact with a text messaging chatbot on their mobile phone that motivate them to stay active throughout their treatment and journey. On the other side, the healthcare professionals can visualize and analyze the high quality data they want in their personal dashboard in real time to take better decisions. So now we know today that there are so many medical apps, but all are facing the same issue, the download, use, and trash effect, and we want to avoid this. That's why we use the short message as a way to communicate and to deliver this experience to the patients. Texting is the most popular mobile channel. Other demographics are also using them. Text messaging is quite popular, universal, engaging thanks to its high performance rates, as you can see it on this slide. Moreover, comparing to an app where you have to motivate your patient to install it, to open it, and then to explain them how to use it, QCall needs only one thing, it's the number phone of your patient, and that's it. So far, we are working on 3 big areas. The first one is the chronic eye diseases, where we created a solution called Beyond the Drop, aimed to improve medication adherence, support patients with glaucoma, maculopathy, and 6 other eye chronic diseases. On oncology, we are working and we provide a patient with support during their journey and provide doctors with a remote patient control platform. In this case, it allows the automatic detection of relapses, complications related to therapies, and give first-line information to a patient about their cancer. And then for the clinical trials, instead of doing things manually, we provide researchers an automated way to follow up their patients, supporting better medication adherence, patient engagement and retention, and enabling better data collection. So today, Kukel, whatever you need, when you need to transform a drug to a service, can handle it in an easy way and in efficiently way. Alice?
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mohamed. Thank you. It was very interesting, and I'm very happy you being part of the season 4, and I can't wait to see what's next. Thank you very much, Mohamed. We will now move on and talk about data structuration, management, and analysis with the second startup of the day, Arcascience. And I'm pleased to introduce you Romain Clément, CEO and co-founder of Arcascience. Hello, Romain. Are you with us?
Oh. Yes, I'm here. Thank you.
Hello, Romain. Thank you for being us today. If you want to share your screen, the stage is now all yours.
Thank you very much. So yeah, thank you very much. I'm Romain. I'm CEO and co-founder at Arcascience. And I'm very glad to have the opportunity to be here. So thank you, Digital Pharma Lab. Arcascience is a startup that puts a stress on its intelligent search engine based on an automatic structuring and annotating AI that allows to federate R&D, pharmacovigilance, and real-world evidence data, and allows to query these with a personalized engine trained from the researchers' specialized vocabularies and information gathered locally to save time and resources in a scalable way. So we are currently working on data optimization, empowerment in the chronic diseases, oncology, and rare diseases area. We operate in the public and private markets, and our solution involves the processing of data with national research institutes during the preclinical and 1 and 2 phases, as well as exploitation of non-sensitive data or data automatically anonymized by our technologies in hospitals and IHUs for the same uses, so involving clinical trial reports, side effect reports, and others. Arcascience is currently a team of 12 people working from France, USA, and Japan. So the different levels of action, top to bottom, as you can see in your screen. For the first phase, we focus on the data gathering, aggregation, coming from record management, math machines, open databases, etc. The second level available is the data structuring through AI that will link the internally scattered data. This information can be extracted in datasets and datasheets formats from highly qualified data, and the researcher will not have to duplicate his research and would have access to the old experiment results and articles to save time. So at this stage, we optimize the previous databases, open science, and also the researcher's domain paths. This leads to mostly millions of euros saved each year. Let me just, thanks to an average gain of 1 month per researcher or end user per year. In a previous use case, it allowed us to point out the fact that we saved up to 3,500 euros per year for 200 professionals, equivalent to an average of 690K per business unit laboratory per year, an equivalent of 1 month per year per end user. Saved. We provide access to an open source databases of more than 80 million biomedical data of all types, and we dealt already more than 13 contracts in collaboration. And we noticed to a growth of 8.3% in return of investment on R&D observed at the end of the first year at the client's level. For example, after a contract carried out at GSK, we measured the performance of the research process at the R&D level. Thanks to the performance indicators they gave us and we pointed out, and they revealed to us the lack of tools that efficiently allow preliminary data structuring, annotation, interoperability, which we are focused on, document processing, storage qualification, the lack of synergy between the partner laboratories and between different units within the laboratory itself, like no sharing notes, failed experiments, suspended project, was improved dramatically. So we are seeking to push back the limits of the biomedical data exploration, both by its mass and precision, but also by its federation and sharing. It is through these means alone that we believe we can have a strong impact in research by acting on cases as current and urgent as medical compliancy, molecular vaccine repurposing, or side effects of a drug extraction. As for the interface, we start to element to process a corpus of scientific literature and data in the allergy field for this precise example. In order to bring up side effects related to a drug, we test on a specialized vocabulary generated out of clients' work and generated and trained within the search engine AI with the client's work and with our own RKScience ontology that we integrate together. We then add research criteria to point out surges in side effects over the course of a period, compare drugs and their interaction, extract full experimental data sets covering federated cohort studies, or even extract statistics generated out of way more inputs than it was possible ever before. So thank you for your attention. I hope to talk to you a little bit more later. And yeah, thank you again for giving the opportunity to talk today.
Thank you very much, Romain. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm very happy that you've been part of the season 4. Thank you very much. We will now move to the third startup of the day, which is Acumed. We will talk about interoperable digital therapeutics with Anthony Dubois, co-founder of Acumed. Hello, Anthony.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, perfect. Thank you for being here. I'm very happy you joined the season 4. If everything is okay on your side, the stage is all yours.
Thank you very much, Alice, and thank you, Vincent, Didier, and all the team at the Digital Pharma Lab for your support here. Thank you also, David and Marcus, for your speech earlier. I totally agree with your points, especially regarding the importance of failing fast. And I'm looking forward to studying small but useful product with you in the coming months. So, what if we were living in a world without silos in healthcare? What if the data you collected yesterday, the data you are collecting today, and the data you will collect tomorrow could speak the same language? Can you imagine the impact in patient care and clinical research? So everybody wants to use medical data today. Some people know how to collect them, a few know how to analyze them, and very few know the best practices and how to use the data to actually generate value. So at Acumed, to remove those silos, those barriers, invisible barriers, we have been addressing 2 problems. The first is the lack of standards and interoperability between all the different IT solutions used by both patients and healthcare providers. And the second is how to unlock insight in existing medical data while protecting individual person privacy. So to resolve these 2 problems, we currently have 2 products. Our first product is focused more on drug development. It can be used to identify a potential new indication, but also de-risk early stage asset evaluation. We leverage public genomic databases with and extract latent knowledge from the literatures. So what does it mean? It means there is tons of data out there ready to be used, and our platform collects quantities of scientific knowledge previously siloed and difficult to leverage. And we bring them as the researchers and clinicians' fingertips so they can quickly draw on the collective wisdom and experience of millions of scientists, physicians, and patients. So imagine, concretely, you are interested in a molecule that targets a particular gene, and you want to know if this gene is up or down-regulated in hundreds of diseases, even rare diseases. This can be done in a few minutes with our platform. Our second product is going to help you building scalable and secure software as a medical device, including digital therapeutics. It can be used as a core for your next app for patients or healthcare providers, but also on top of your existing apps to increase the capabilities, build a data warehouse, or enable data science. The goal here is to create services beyond the pills and to use the huge amount of data to identify relevant biomarkers, which will accelerate approval and generate real-world evidences. There are many companies that can build solid apps. I don't adopt it. But our approach is innovative because we leverage interoperability standard to build every app we do. Interoperability is not an afterthought. It's in the fabric, the very fabric of our apps. The aims here, the approach here, aims at removing the barriers between technology and healthcare. So to summarize, the common denominator between these two products is our unique ability to develop robust and secure solutions in record time that are revolutionizing healthcare across your entire value chain. Everything we do is based on open source technologies and open standards. Open does not mean everything is shared. Open means we build on solid technology supported by thousands of people to protect private data. Our team is composed of both medical and technology experts, and we want to bridge the gap between data collection and value generation. So we currently already work with some leading pharmaceutical companies, hospitals, CROs, startups, and so we are ready to build a long-term relationship and work with you on your next challenge to create value for patients. Thank you. Thank you, Alice.
Thank you very much, Anthony. Thank you for being here today with us. I can't wait to see what's next in the season 4, with plenty of opportunity of collaboration between innovative startups and partners. So thank you very much. And we will now move on with an uninteresting debate with Pascal Bécache. So I'm calling for Vincent and Pascal.
Hello again. Thank you very much, Alice, for all these very interesting startups pitches. It was great. So hello, everybody. I have the great pleasure for the next half an hour. Maybe we will shorten a little bit because we are late. I have the great pleasure to welcome Amandine Jacques from Takeda.
Good morning. Thank you.
Fabrizio Conicella from Zcube at Zambon.
Morning, thank you.
Marc Chevalier from Institut Pasteur.
Good morning.
And Kevin Dodgin from a very famous startup called Observia. Hi, Kevin.
Hi, Pascal. Thank you.
So the question today was that I asked to all my invitees was, is it really legitimate for pharma companies to finance digital startups? And we have a panel of people from different companies. So I will start with Amandine. She's head of business excellence at Takeda in France. She's part of the executive committee of Takeda in France. She's also she also chairs the Coalition Next founders meeting. So Amandine, do you think that you as Takeda, you should invest in startups?
Sure. Yes, I would say yes, but you probably want to know why. Our first goal as pharmaceutical company is to deliver product, high quality product first, to the right patient. in the right condition and avoid all supply issue. And you know that avoiding supply issue is an issue. But is it sufficient for a pharmaceutical company to just deliver high quality product? I would say no, because we need to guarantee good usage of the drug, what we call in French, le bon usage. It's very important for the French healthcare authorities, but it's very important for us. I have listened to all the speakers this morning, and we are all, I think, aligned on one topic, is the patient centricity. And patient centricity is not only something we declare. Patient centricity is really the ambition to improve patient quality of life. And I think we have whole a role to play to improve quality of life. And if you want to improve quality of life, first of all, you need that your patient is taking the drug on the right way. So you need to play a role regarding observance, regarding delivery. Through the COVID situation, a situation that's accelerating is to put drugs in the retail market and have some patient with very severe disease who will receive their drug on the retail market with a pharmacy in town. And I think on that, we have a role to play, as well as a pharmaceutical company. The pharmacist has a role to play, and maybe we can play together to improve that and to improve the delivery. So there are so many topics where pharmaceutical company can help and as a partner in the healthcare system. That's what I think, but it's not my point of view. I think it's the point of view of a lot of pharmaceutical companies.
We will ask Fabrizio a little bit later. So I turn to Kevin, because you mentioned patient centricity, adherence, observance, it's a compliance, etc. And Kevin, you're the founder of a startup that is precisely trying to do this. So can you just, one, explain a little bit what Observia does, and second, more important, why you think it's important for pharmaceutical company to help startups by financing them, signing contracts with them, etc.
Sure. Cut me off, Pascal, if I'm going too long. You know I have a tendency to talk, but
I will cut you hardly.
Okay, thank you. So first of all, to respond to your first point, yes, first, I'm glad that Observia is still considered a startup. This will be 10 years old this year. So we've been around for a while. And effectively, we provide digital support to patients, focusing on adherence, but also in general in terms of chronic disease. So we work around the world. We have our main office in Paris. We have an office in Shanghai. We work in every continent and over something like 40 different therapeutic areas. In terms of your second question, as you know, I've been somewhat of a provocateur over the last 20 years, actually, in pharma with respect to patient engagement and patient centricity. I think that pharma struggles. And I think that pharma struggles to really be patient-centric because the pharma business model has traditionally been to create world-class drugs in a very scientific way. And they've done a fantastic job. I mean, I don't need to tell anybody who's participating right now about the revolution in healthcare that has come about thanks to the efforts of pharma. But that's a very scientific task, and even for legislative reasons, pharma is often very restricted in terms of how their ability to deal directly with patients. And as such, pharma has a tendency to be very scientific, has a tendency to be very focused on making sure they don't overstep legislative boundaries, and it's a good thing that they are. But that does make it difficult for them, I think, to make that shift to true patient centricity. And my experience is that when pharma companies try to be patient centric, very often what they do is they're really prescriber centric, right? They're really trying to provide tools that can be used by prescribers. And they have a lot of difficulty dealing directly with patients. And the best way to deal directly with patients in a cost-effective way is through digital means. And so now we're getting way outside of the traditional comfort zone of pharma. It's not their fault, it's just the truth. And that's where I think that the companies such as our own and the others that we've seen this morning do an excellent job.
So you have been provocative, and Amandine is already, moving on her chair. But before going to Amandine, I will ask Fabrizio. So Fabrizio is the general manager of Zcube. Can you explain a little bit in one word what Zcube is?
Thank you, Pascal. Zcube is, let's say, a research venture company. The Zambon company, a medium-sized pharma company, decided more than 10 years ago to create a vehicle able to scout, nurture, and match with the pharma priority area interesting innovation coming from the outside world. Obviously, during time, the vehicle has evolved, becoming today a corporate accelerator initiative able to select and invest. It is clear to move to your question, it is really important that pharma company cannot avoid to fund innovation. The world changed, and now to work with digital initiative is becoming the rule. We cannot close our eyes saying we are still a chemical company able to produce wonderful molecules to save patients. We have to understand that patients are citizens that are making a patient journey, and our goal is to maximize the impact of our products, both from an economic point of view, because we are a private company, but also from a social point of view. And to do that, we have to follow the patient. In that sense, the patient centricity is important. Patient is someone that has to be put in condition to prevent diseases, have to be diagnosed, and after the acute phase of a disease, have to be reinserted in the civil society, have to be supported to be an active member of the society. Pharma companies cannot avoid to do that, and digital is a wonderful way to give a solution to all those needs. And we at Zambon, we have decided to have a different mission. We are not only a pharma company, we are curing and caring. And that is the reason why we moved with part of our activities to the tech and innovation fields, nurturing startups through the accelerator, creating spin-off. We have a spin-off working in a remote assistance and monitoring of Parkinson and dementia patients, and with another initiative called Italia Assistenza, working also in the patient support program fields. And last but not least, we are also reimagining the internal processes of the company, of the pharma company, taking in consideration that digital innovation, and not only digital innovation, are changing the rule of the game.
We will come back to this later. Thank you very much, Fabrizio. It's really thrilling. So I will now turn to Marc Chevalier. Is head of a startup program at Institut Pasteur. So in one word, what is Institut Pasteur? And then you are an R&D institute. Are you interested in working with a pharmaceutical company on the digital innovation side?
Yes, thank you for the invitation. It's my great pleasure to be here. Actually, I'm replacing Myriam Oukel, who is the president of the French Digital Health Council, which is a group of professionals who are trying to build a community of people interested by the development of e-health tools for society. And so, in few words, what is the Institut Pasteur? It's a well-renowned institute of research that is focused on developing therapeutic tools and strategies to cure people. And we recently invested a lot in developing digital tools in order to increase the impact we could have on the society. I'm working a lot with different type of research institute also in Paris, and we all have the same interest in working with pharma, the pharma industry and pharma companies, because this is very important for us to build startup based on our research results that fit with the market. And it's very important to have companies that are able to work with us in a collaborative way to build the strategies and to build together the project market fit that will allow the startups to develop properly. And so, of course, what we could expect from the pharma industry could be some investment, etc. But we mostly focus on what they could provide in terms of support, either on very specific topics related to the project and development, but also in all the interest they could have in building a global strategy for the startup. Because at all level, in research institute, it's not that easy to detect what could be the right strategy to develop the product. And it's very important for us to work with the pharma industry and also with investors to work together and to build these strategies. Of course, after some time, it may be important for the pharma industry also to support financially the development of startups. But at the first place, it's really a focus on developing together the product that is really important for us.
Okay, thank you very much, Mark. We will come back to this and also to the National Council of E-Health a little bit later. So, Kevin, you said pharmaceutical company are more prescriber-centric rather than patient-centric. So, of course, very provocative. So, of course, I will ask Amandine and Fabrizio why, if they think it's right, and if they think that giving tools, digital tools, and digital superpower to prescriber is also interesting, and is it what they tend to do? I mean, in pharmaceutical companies, Amandine.
Yes, I really enjoy Kevin's point of view, but I think I agree. I would agree with you if we were 10 years ago. I think things have changed, but it's a journey. Yeah. Are we at the level of ambition where we want to be today? I would say no. But helping and improving quality of life of the patient cannot be achieved without partnership with hospital, with payers, and it's really the ambition of the pharmaceutical companies, because it's the best way to achieve better results with our drugs. It's the patient centricity is here for that too. We need to have a better quality of life of the patient to improve the results on the treatment, and we are here for that. This is our job, but this is not, I think, our expertise to find solution. Is the reason why investing in innovation through startup can be a strong way to achieve, and can be the right way to build partnerships through startups.
So but you are becoming smarter. You're becoming smarter thanks to open innovation. Let's say it this way.
Exactly. Okay. And I would say I cannot be agree with the fact that what you were talking about, pharmaceutical company are only prescribers centric. I'm pretty sure that Fabrizio is not agree with that.
Kevin, one word before Fabrizio.
Okay, well, a couple, but I think we agree, Amandine. One thing I think is really key that I should have brought up in the first place that you've just mentioned is the idea of patient centricity, and particularly around adherence, again, with respect to allowing medications to reach their clinical promise, right? You do a clinical study, you demonstrate scientifically that the drug can do something, you launch it onto the market, and payers said, but it didn't do that. You know, if you launch an MS drug that you've demonstrated can reduce relapse by 80%, it goes on the market, it reduces it by 40%. The variable is whether patients take the drug properly, right? Exactly. You're absolutely right. I firmly believe that pharma needs to do that. And I firmly believe that pharma is making an effort to become more patient-centric. I agree with you. My point is, I'll tell you one little story. A couple of years ago, I was the chairman at an Eye for Pharma conference for the digital innovation track. At the last minute, Paul Sims always asks me to chair things when nobody else shows up. And I called and he said, I said, what can I say about digital transformation? So I called my son. Now my son works for Elon Musk. He's a computer whiz at Tesla. And I said, how would Elon approach, if Elon decides to get into pharma, what would be the difference in terms of the pharma industry today? And he said, if Elon decides to get into pharma, you can tell your friends in pharma to get new jobs. Because he said, our approach would be so dramatically different. Instead of saying, how do we move from this to there? He said, they would start, he said very straightforward. He said, for instance, Tesla is not a car company. We are a digital company that makes cars. And if Elon came into pharma, he'd say, how can I be a digital company that works in medication? And I think that they would take an approach that's so dramatically different that it would be problematic.
That's probably, you know, what that's very interesting. First of all, thank you to your son,
Yes.
Kevin. And we are pretty sure at Digital Pharma Lab that pharmaceutical company have great interest to understand exactly what you say. Fabrizio, what do you think of this little anecdote from Kevin? Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I agree that a digital company will act in a completely different way in the healthcare world, and Google is demonstrating such sentence. But I'm not against, from an ideological point of view, to the prescription. Prescription is a way to transform what we are creating in money. What is different, and I'm really believing that there's been a dramatic difference that arises in the last 30 years, is that now pharma companies are taking care of their clients, final clients that are not the physician, are the patient. It's simply a marketing approach. When I was young, my teacher was explaining me that marketing means fulfilling needs of someone. We are trying to fulfill in a better way the needs of a final user that by chance is a patient, is a human being. And to do that, we need to be patient-centric in our approach. There are no other ways.
Mark, you know, you with this National Council of e-health, you are advising the French Ministry of Health, etc., and preparing some white papers, etc. But on this side of the healthcare system, how do you see, you know, the e-health growing and really anchoring into the healthcare system? Is it something that is going fast enough? Do you need some more help from startups and pharmaceutical company? Can you elaborate a little bit?
Well, 2020 has been an exceptional year because everything has changed related to the digital health, and I think it's been an opportunity for all the ecosystem to show that the startups were ready to go forward, and that they were requiring all the ecosystem, and I include there also all the administration, that now the tools need to be adapted to what is required by the new rules, new regulations, but also the needs of patients. And we can see that, for instance, a lot of patients who have been not taken in charge because they were not in priority based on this new context, were requiring some new tools to make sure that they were not too much depressed in terms of health condition based on in this specific context. And so to grow the step after, to go to the step after, I really think that it's important to encourage this close relationship between the startups which are growing, but now for them to sustain, to develop a sustainable market, they need to go global. They need this kind of collaboration with the pharma industry. They need to adapt to the different requirements based on what the practitioner needs, what the patient needs, what the regulatory environment needs. And for all these questions, it's really important to have the feedback from the pharma industry. And so that's why I think that your initiative, like the Digital Pharma Lab and some others that are very pushing startups to get closer to the pharma industry, are very good for the ecosystem, because it increases how the startups can adapt to the market and bring this agile organization to big farmers.
But do you think that there is a business model or many business models for digital health? And I will ask the question to each of them, or each of you. So be prepared.
There are many business models, actually. I think we are just at the beginning of all this, and preparing this this panel, I was thinking that we are now at an era of maturity of this collaboration between startups and big farmers, because we've been testing a lot of different tools related to open innovation before, and now I think we found some good manners to work together, and now I think we just need to be creative enough to invent these new business models, and it should be related to what the pharma needs, the big pharma needs, but also what the startup needs to maintain their activity and to develop and to grow and to imagine better futures, not only based on capital investments, but mostly in developing their turnover based on the different products they can sell or services.
Okay, what do you think about business models, Fabrizio? You told me when preparing this panel, you told me we look at the business model every year.
Yeah, because the world is changing every year. Another difference vis-a-vis the past is that the speed of the change now it's so high that we cannot avoid to rethink every year the way that we are doing our job. And there are not only one business model that could be applied. The business model are context, ecosystem, and regulatory dependent. So probably the same company will have different business model in different parts of the world. And this is a quite exciting field where to innovate. From a certain point of view, more than technological field, because technologies will become a commodity.
It's a good point, because very often, there are a lot of conferences, etc., about technology. Technology is, of course, very important. But what you say, Fabrizio, is technology is less important than the environment we are living in.
You can have the best technology of the world, but if the environment is not able to exploit the advantages of the technology, you have simply a piece of algorithm or a piece of hardware. You need that the ecosystem, the entire ecosystem will be adapted and ready to adopt and absorb the technology. And this is the real challenge in my view.
Especially for pharmaceutical companies, or for everybody?
No, for everybody.
Kevin, technology is less than an issue. It's more a question of mindset.
I agree 100% with Fabrizio. I mean, we have offices in Paris, Shanghai, Hong Kong, Germany, the UK, and obviously we're facing dramatically different situations. And it's not a difference in technology. It's not a difference in human behavior. I mean, we're behavioral science experts. People behave according to the same. It is a difference in the local environments, the readiness of the prescribers, and obviously the legislative environment. I mean, for instance, in China, in many respects, it's far easier to deploy digital patient support than it is in France, because everybody has WeChat and so on. Whereas, I mean, everything is so different from one market to the next. Now, in terms of the business models, your question, I mean, clearly it's possible. I mean, we've been growing for 10 years, so there's business models to be had. One of the more interesting ones, I think, will be business models that rely on cooperation between pharma companies, right? pharma companies compete, and rightly so, and for prescriptions. And of course, I mean, you need to have prescriptions, right? And the competition can take place when they're getting prescriptions. But in terms of patient support, the competition does not exist. Everybody wins. Different competitors, payers, patients, physicians, everybody wins if patients are well supported and adherence goes up. And that would be far easier if pharma companies could collaborate, perhaps on a pathology by pathology basis, in putting together and working with startups to provide better support.
Thank you, Amandine. The final word of a conclusion will be for you. So first of all, what do you think about business models? And second, about what just Kevin mentioned. Up with your microphone will be better.
First of all, I would say that I am totally agree with the panel regarding the idea that we are really at the beginning of something huge, I think. And the COVID situation will be an opportunity to make this model, our engagement model will evaluate, the way we are driving data will evaluate. The data privacy is a huge challenge. So we are at the beginning of something, and we will need to collaborate with startup that have this brain, all these brains in their house. We do not have these brains in their house. You have seen in the news in the past months some pharmaceutical companies who make partnership with Google or with GAFA. So we are at the beginning of something, and in France we are lucky because we have started what we call the Coalition Next, and we are lucky because we have all around the table pharmaceutical companies such as Ipsen, Pfizer, Novartis, Roche, and on the same table we have some hospitals, Paris hospitals, Nantes hospitals, and we have some patients. And we are all around the table to find solution to improve the patient journey, to improve clinical research data collection. And there are so many things to do because the technology is here. When you take the train or the plane, you are only with your phone. But when you go to the hospital, you are not only with your phone. And you will make the queue, the line. You will have some stickers, some. I talk about France, but I don't know how it is in China. But we cannot say we are happy with that today, I think.
Okay. Listen, thank you very much to all of you. Thank you, Amandine. Thank you, Fabrizio, coming from a close neighborhood in Italy. Thank you, Mark, and thank you, Kevin. It was great having you, and you will have to come back next time. Now I ask Alice to keep on with our agenda.
Yeah, thank you very much, Pascal.
Thank you.
Thank you, Amandine. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. It's now the time to present you our next startups, partners of season 4. First, I'm calling for Alexandre Guénoun, CEO and co-founder of Kiro. Hello, Alexandre.
Hello.
Hello. Thank you very much for being here today and present Kiro, an innovative startup in clinical biology. If you have slides to present, please share your screen. And from now, the stage is all yours.
Yeah, sure. Can you see my screen? Can you hear me?
Yeah, but I don't see your screen.
Okay. And so can you see now my screen?
It's perfect.
Yes. Good. Okay. So we've heard more and more about precision medicine. And so, in recent time, and particularly with COVID now. And so at Kiro, what we want to do is to make it happen and treat individuals as unique and not as numbers. And for that, we do believe in clinical biology and lab test results. The thing is, Today, 70% of all healthcare decisions affecting diagnostic or treatment involve laboratory test results. So recently, the Institute of Medicine concluded that most people will experience at least one diagnostic error in their life. And the thing is that errors related to lab tests are much more common than you might think. They represent 1/3 of all diagnosis error, mostly due to misprescription and misinterpretation of lab tests. And so what we do believe is that today the need in clinical biology is growing much faster than the resources that are required to well interpret them. In France first, but also in the US and in the world more generally. Because what is true in France, we see that it's all the more true in the US and in other countries. If you look, for instance, the number of new cancer cases per pathologist, it's increasing hugely. And so what we do at Kiro is that we want to tackle this issue. We have seen this with COVID, and we do believe that we are able to build an AI that makes this precision medicine possible. So what we have done is that we have created an AI-based software that helps patients understand better their results and make it relevant and actionable for doctors, thanks to machine learning. With us, as soon as we receive your lab tests, we are able to provide doctors with recommendation to help them with your diagnosis. And it works in a very simple way. As a pathologist or as a patient or as a doctor, you can have access to your lab tests, including reports through an interactive platform accessible online, where we reinvented the whole experience. We've reinvented the way your lab tests are communicated to make it personalized and understandable for you. Now you can have a look at your results, what they mean, and all additional relevant information that has been medically validated. Your doctor has a privileged access with specific information on diagnostic and prevention related to your biological profile. We are a team of 10 people that are coming from the top French and US universities, who combines complementary skills in business, engineering, AI, and medicine that allow Kiro to deliver fast. In less than 12 months, we achieved together tens of millions different biological profile, and we are now working with various labs and hospitals in France to need and to foster our technical team and expand our model in France. The next step is worldwide. We recently partnered with one of France's largest hospital to broaden our R&D on COVID-19. Our objective with them is to predict from lab tests the evolutions of patients' health status after being infected by COVID-19. We do believe that we can reinvent the way laboratory interconnects with patients, doctors, and healthcare professionals in general through a more digitalized, more patient-centered, and more personalized medicine. We believe that no team before us is building large enough competencies on AI for clinical biology with powerful enough computers and cutting-edge machine learning models that are medically graded to enable precision medicine with a high degree of accuracy. And so that's what we are working on. This is our mission. And for us, precision medicine should not be the privilege of the few. We do believe that with Kiro, precision medicine is and will be soon available for everyone. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. It was very interesting, and we are pleased to welcome you in the season 4. Thank you, Alexandre.
My pleasure.
We will now move to our next startup, Capsula, a digital platform for personal healthcare assistance. And I'm pleased to introduce Dmitry Maznitsa, CEO of Capsula. Dmitry, are you here?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, but we can
perfect.
see you.
Can you please allow my video to be broad screen? I'm trying to show you my.
Perfect. The stage is yours.
Yeah, thank you. So thanks again for having us today. I'd like to present our project Capsula, telemedical solution. We established Capsule about 5 years ago as a telemedical platform for online communication between patients and providers. At the moment, we have more than 500,000 of users across the globe. We passed a couple of accelerator programs in Europe, like INAPIX in Switzerland and EAT Health, provided by European Council. The platform is a digital solution for website and mobile platforms. Inside, there are a lot of platforms. The main function is telemedicine, like remote communication, any sort of communication between patients and providers. But we also have additional instrument to engage patients, to use the platform like coaches, medical concierge, personal assistant, and chatbot, and some other instruments to engage doctors, the healthcare practitioners, like opinion leaders events, smart chats, online conferences, and something more. So the company is global at the moment. We have 3 offices across the globe. The development is based in Russia, in Moscow, and we also have branch affiliates in Singapore and in Delaware in the United States. The Capsule communities are located in different regions in Europe, in Turkey, in Southeast Asia, and in Latin America as well. So in Europe is one of our most promising market, and we are continuing to build the network of patients and providers in different locations in Europe. The biggest community now is located in Germany. So the biggest part of our audience use the platform as an instrument to get telemedical help, like remote consultations. And about 50% of them, of all the questions, are somehow connected with the woman health. I mean, pregnancy, contraception, breastfeeding, and stuff like that. About 30% are connected with other conditions, diseases, including oncology, cardiology, immunology, and stuff like that. So the regulation of remote care is different from place to place, from country to country. This is why in each place we the platform is compliant with the local regulation. We have a lot of collaboration with the local providers and respect a lot of the data security and the process of information, medical information. So our main customers are pharmaceutical companies, and they utilize the platform as an instrument to promote drugs, medical devices, and to increase compliance with therapy and adherence to treatment. So we collaborate with a lot of manufacturers and support their drugs and medical devices for women health, cardiology. We support patients during the IVF cycles. We support patients with diabetes who are using glucometers, for example, and insulin pumps, and many more. So at the end, by collaboration with us, pharmaceutical companies gain statistical information concerning each patient, of course, in depersonalized manner. So the manufacturer knows how their customers behave, what they are interested in, and many more. So yeah, this is example of our platform for online consultations in Germany for women health. And here you can see the example of our collaboration with Roche Diagnostics. Here on the package, you can see the QR code of Capsula. When a patient is buying a glucometer, he's able to scan a device, the QR code on the device, and get free support on Capsula. Last year, we started collaboration with a lot of digital health mobile apps to increase the number of audience and the coverage of patients across the globe. So on Capsula, you can also run patient support programs as a manufacturer and also collect additional medical information and additional statistical information while increasing the comfort of treatment and loyalty to the brand. So Capsula is also allowing the manufacturers to run healthcare doctor-to-doctor telemedical projects. So here we support different online instruments to connect the healthcare practitioners with other healthcare practitioners or with the MSL. So last year we started to develop the medical bloggers on the platform. So you as a doctor, you're able to connect your Instagram profile with Capsula and publish posts with very convenient instruments. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dimitri, for this great presentation. You are now part of season 4. Thank you again. Can't wait to see what's next. We will now move to our last startup of the day, which is Tmm Software, which designs digital solution to optimize the patient pathway. I'm calling for Serge Massot, director of Tmm Software. Hello, Serge.
Hi everybody. It's nice to be here with you today, and it's also very nice to have the opportunity to represent our company on our mission.
The stage is yours.
Yeah, thank you. I will share my screen. Please just confirm that you can see it. It's okay?
Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
Just before starting, I'd like to thank Digital Pharma Lab for the opportunity to integrate this 4th season. I'm very excited and pleased to be there. My name is Serge Massot, so I'm the managing director of Tmm Software. Tmm Software is a company that we have created 11 years ago. And we have our mission is to digitize this patient pathway. And how we do that, we have the idea, and we trust that we can't do it only by ourselves. So we have the habit to work it and to innovate on the way we can design a new way to care in co-development mode with partners and with medical experts. So we really trust on this way of thinking. We must be stronger by additions or skills and or strengths. So we are a company of 21 employees, and we are a software editor, and we design a different kind of application that give answers that improves the patient improves the patient way of the patient pathway before the stay, during the stay, and after the stay when he leaves the hospital and go back to home. We have a lot of customers with different size, different way of work, and different size of projects. So we can work with facilities like public hospitals, associations, medical physicians. We also work with a lot of other software editors or with IoT provider, and we work together to deliver the module or the necessary things that they miss and that they don't have to have a complete way to follow the patient at home. If I just focus on our remote monitoring solution that is the reason why we integrate this season. Our remote monitoring solution, Aptelica, has been started to develop around 8 years ago. And it's a medical device level 1 certified dispositif that gives the possibility to follow any kind of patients without any difference between the kind of disease or the kind of pathology. So we are designing an algorithm that gives the possibility to physician to adapt our software and the ways they follow the patient without any needs to ask us to make some development or to make some new features. They have all the back office and the tools to do it themselves. So they are totally autonomous. Just before, I've said that we have the possibility to follow the patient in all his pathway. It means that it's a modular solution. That it means that we can do telemonitoring. Yes, it's the main things that we do, but we can also give tools and software solution to help the facility to make pre-admission, in the hospital, to make geolocalization, to make therapeutical informations, to have the next day feedbacks form when the patient goes back at home. So our way of thinking is to be able to give one tool, one solution to the patient, one solution that can evolve depending on the step that the patient is in his pathway. So I think that as it's something new for patients to use this kind of digital tools, it's very important to simplify the number, to reduce the number of tools that they use in their pathway. So we work hard to do that in our side. So we also provide all the necessary software solution and back office to give the possibility to the medical staff to follow and to treat and to communicate with the patient when he is at home. We have a couple of visions and for important points that we need on which we communicate. For example, we really trust that we need now to have results, proof on experimentations, and we have started since the beginning. We have started 8 clinical trials in different kind of hospitals, in different kind of remote monitoring with different kind of patients, because we think and we really trust that we need to evaluate medical and financial impact on telemonitoring solutions, and we will have this year we have the first result of these clinical trials. So it's very impressive because we start to have the proof that this kind of solution, software solution, has a real impact on the patient follow and the patient care. Another point very important, it's autonomy. So as I've already said, we give the autonomy to the patient, to the hospital and medical staff to follow the patient. And not but least, we are open system that can be connected to any kind of third-party system. And also, another important thing is that we really trust that regulatory and security issues is very important. So it's a reason why we are medical device level 1. and we are in a process of certification and other kind of certification. And just to finish, I'd like to share with you a good news in our side, because we have officially announced this morning that we have been selected by the Morocco country to follow all the patients that has been vaccinated, and to follow all the population, Morocco population, on vaccination side effects. So it's we are very proud of this, and I'd like to share this with you.
This is excellent news, Serge, and I thank you very much. Sorry, we are running a little bit out of time.
I know.
This is really great news for you and for Moroccan people. Now it's my, thank you again, Serge, and now it's my great pleasure to introduce Jessica Federer. Jessica, are you around?
I am.
Okay, so
but I believe the host needs to start my video.
Okay, so your video is starting.
There you go.
Excellent. First of all, I need to really, we need, on behalf of all the audience, to thank you very much, because it's quite early in the morning in New York, and that's why you are having some coffee maybe, or tea, I don't know.
Yeah. No problem at all. I think everybody here on this call gets up early.
So thank you very much. Jessica, you have a brilliant career. You are still doing brilliantly. And can you just explain a little bit what you have done so far? It's really impressive.
Oh, well, now you've teed it up. Everybody has expectations.
Yes, absolutely.
Pascal, thank you for the warm welcome, and thank you all. Just before I start, seeing the startup presentations was just exceptional. And so thank you to the founders for the work that you're doing. I know it's not easy, but we're very grateful for the innovations that you're bringing to the world and the value that you are creating. So about me, my background's largely pharma. I was the chief digital officer at Bayer, or Bayer, depending on where you live. And I ran the digital transformation for the pharmaceutical, consumer care, crop science, and animal health businesses. Of course, I was at Bayer for quite a while in regulatory affairs, market access, different product launches, essentially following the data, from data to show that a drug is safe and it works, to data to showing that a drug should be reimbursed and paid for, to the data that shows how are you changing your business model? Can you move to selling an outcome, selling a result, instead of selling an actual product? And that goes for farming and for pharma. So in farming, you move from selling pesticides and fertilizers and seeds to selling crop yield guarantees. And in pharma, of course, you move from selling injections and pills to selling lines of vision gained or reduced stroke. So I loved my time at Bayer, but after the Monsanto acquisition, I left the company, came back to the US, went into the world of private equity and VC. I joined an investment firm in Boston that does health tech investing. It's also the firm that built Parexel, one of the leading CROs, from 7 people to the giant that it is now, through about 40 acquisitions. So there's a very deep expertise in health technology and health data. And then when COVID hit, it hit New York really hard, as it hit some of your communities really hard. And I wasn't happy with myself being on boards and doing investing. It was time to do more. And so I wanted to get back in the trenches and make a deeper impact. So I joined a digital health company as managing director, a really innovative digital health company based out of London called Huma. And Huma is providing the hospital at home virtual wards for COVID-19 for NHS across the UK. They just received the same award for the government of Germany, the health ministry. They're rolling out across all the clinics in Germany. We did 100 clinics in one day last week, so the rollout's quite aggressive. Doing digital clinical trials, post-EUA monitoring, similar to the last startup that just mentioned, monitoring the after effects of the vaccines. So a lot of different digital implementations, but I do live in New York, and it's a pleasure to be joining you virtually here today.
Thank you for again summarizing for us this very impressive journey. So you told me you were just to come back a little bit on this. You were the first female CDO in the pharma industry. Why do you think being a female CDO is so important? And I would agree, by the way.
I don't know that it matters whether it's a CDO. I think we just need more female C-suite in pharma. I would definitely say we need more pharma CEOs. Emma at GSK is still the only big pharma female CEO. We need a lot more see everything for women in healthcare. And it's important because 90% of the healthcare decisions and healthcare spending are made by women, and they're making the decision for their children and for their parents and for their families. And so for our companies to be innovative and thrive, we really need to understand our customers. And it's just a little too old-fashioned, right, to have these pharma companies with all male boards and all male management teams. It's 2021. That's not acceptable anymore.
You're right. That's why in Digital Pharma Lab we have more women than men, actually. So I'm again very happy. So I would like to know, you have been in a pharmaceutical company, you have been in an investor, you are now sitting as a managing director in a very impressive startups. From your different angles, how do you see this ecosystem? Is it something sustainable? Is it something that has a bright future, or will it be difficult? What's your thoughts?
Look into the crystal ball and tell the future.
Yes, please.
Oh yes, the future is very bright. So we have this unwanted catalyst. You know, the COVID epidemic is really an unwanted catalyst. None of us wanted this horrible epidemic for our countries and for our economies and for our friends and families. But it's here, and it really is a catalyst. And, you know, for people like myself who were early digital leaders, you know, I was the second CDO in the industry. Bruno over at Takeda was first. And it was really an uphill battle. Nobody understood you needed digital. You were fighting and going against inertia and pushing every day, politics and negotiating and getting the companies to understand why they need to be digital. And it was all about, how do you become sustainable for the future? And then COVID hits. The companies have no choice but to be digital or cease to exist. Trials have to be digital or stop. Hospital care, in many cases, has to be digital or those visits don't happen. So there was no other choice. And the risk paradigm shifted. And we all know pharma is possibly the most risk-averse industry. That if you tell pharma they can put $1 billion into reducing risk or $1 billion into a new growth opportunity, they'll always put it in reducing risk every time. And so what COVID did was really flip the risk. So now it was riskier not to do digital than it was to keep doing the status quo. And so this means that for all of us here, the future is very bright. Because before, it may take 18 months for a digital health company to start a project in healthcare with a pharma company. The lead time is very long. You go through presentations and negotiations and work with the procurement teams, and you don't get paid for forever. You know, it was really a long process. And now that's all expedited. And you can do contracts and projects, kick them off in a month or in 2 months. You can have a deployment going in 2 months. So the world is changing for digital health in a very positive way. But the responsibility is now that we show we're worthy of that responsibility. We really have to deliver.
Yes. Do you think, I like very much what you were saying about the risk, and now it's riskier not to do something rather than do something in the digital space. But do you think it will really change, you know, deeply, or is it only on the surface? You say there is a bright future, okay, but if after the pandemics, if pandemics ends one day, if things go back to new normal, do you think anyway pharma industry will still be now convinced of digital?
Yeah, I mean, the pharma industry is people, and
Yeah.
people need to learn. And one of the best things any digital transformation leader or any startup can do is really educate your pharma partners, because the time you invest in education is a permanent investment. You know, if you educate your teams, then that sticks with them forever. And the example is, you know, once at Bayer, I was really having trouble getting our legal teams to make approvals for some of our digital projects. So I tried everything. It just, you know, they were bottlenecking, they were saying no, they were the barrier. So I got all of our legal counsel together, had them do a workshop for 2 days with Google's lawyers. And it was just a training. But I remember at some point in the training, one of the attorneys, she was the lead counsel for a country. She asked, so you don't have one IP address your whole life? And, you know, that was a huge realization that nobody had taken the time to train our legal teams about technology and IP addresses and access and storage. And so we started training our legal teams and our procurement teams and our marketing teams and the medical teams. And you have to train the entire organization. So what I'm trying to say is that by training, you're making a sustainable, permanent evolution. You're not seeing a pendulum swing. By training people, you're making a permanent step, a permanent evolution in that change management and how that organization exists going forward. Now, will the pendulum swing back from really rapid technology adoption to maybe a bit slower? Yeah, I mean, we're not going to keep up the pace of COVID forever because all of us are exhausted. You know, there has to get back to some normalcy. You can't be in this urgency forever, but now we know how fast we can move, and now we know how much collaboration can help. And so that's permanently now the education of all of us in the industry. Our education has set our expectations to be different. And so now moving forward, it is going to be a bit of a permanent change.
Last questions. Sorry, because time is flying.
Of course, of course.
So interesting to discuss with you. But last question is about financing. So you've been with a pharma company, an investor, and now a startup. So do you think pharma companies should keep on investing, financing, etc.? Is it normal for a pharma company to invest into digital health? Or should they buy them? Should they? What should they do? You know, with this digital health innovation leaders?
Yeah, so there's pros and cons. Of course, there's no easy answer. It depends on the pharma company. It depends on the use case in the startup. If you could have a pharma company as one of your investors, they are really good strategic investors. They're slow though, so your round will have to wait for that strategic to do a second close or to close because they're slow. That being said, they're good investors. So, you know, if you have a VC come onto your board, they're very proactive. They may say, okay, time to replace the founder, time to replace the CEO. If you have strategics on the board, usually there's more of them. They're a little more hands off, and they immediately pull you into their projects, and you have that business growth together. So in the long run, yes, if you can make the decision to have the time for strategics that are pharma companies, they're usually excellent investors because they have the resources. They're usually pretty generous on the valuations, and they're really good partners because they pull you into the existing projects of what they're doing.
Excellent. So I understand the future is bright, one. Second, I understand that the future is maybe not only around technology, but also around education, legal engineering, and also financial engineering. And these are maybe the main takeaway I will get from your pitch. And really, thank you very much for getting up so early. So now the day is bright open for you. So
the sun hasn't come up yet, but for everyone here, please connect on LinkedIn. I'm always happy to help founders. You're doing the hard work of creating the future, and need all the support you can get.
I thank you very much, and maybe next time we will try to find a better schedule. So, but again, thank you very much, and it was great having you with us. Thank you so much, Jessica. Vincent, now it's time for conclusion.
Yes, and actually the conclusion is up to Didier, and please stay online because we'll make a last screen after Didier conclusion to take a picture. So Didier, up to you for the conclusion.
Thank you, Vincent. Wow, it was an amazing moment that we had this morning, and I will try to summarize with 3 words or 3 sentences. The first is post-COVID gold rush. We see that money is there, that the market is there, that the business model is maturing, and we are now entering this post-COVID gold rush for health tech and pharma tech company. The second is that we talked a lot about being patient-centric, and I would say my word is impatient. People are getting impatient because of the lockdown, because of everything that has happened last year. And this impatience is just driving and accelerating the business for the pharma tech industries. And the last one is dramatically different. That was Kevin said about if Elon Musk would enter this market, everything would change and would be dramatically different. So let's hope that 2021 would be a great year because of this gold rush, because patients are getting impatient, and because of this wonderful kickoff. And this season will be a wonderful time both for startup, pharma companies, and all the industry. Thank you, everyone. And the floor is yours, Vincent, for the last screenshot.
Yes, so Damien, tell us when you can all open the screen. I mean, you can do it right now. Amandine, Marc, Mohamed, Romain, Karima, Florence, Simon, Cinda, Marcus, Nathalie, Kevin, Alexandre, Marc Chevalier, il manque toi, Serge. Voilà, donc on y arrive bientôt. Ok, eh ben, écoutez, merci beaucoup pour ce magnifique événement. Thank you for this very nice event. Sorry, I switched in French. And see you soon for the next one. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.